Hello. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're doing a speed draw because I had an idea, and initially I was gonna do this for Dogtober because I like to do Dogtober instead of Inktober, and I like to challenge myself by drawing a bunch of different dogs. Initially, I thought this was something that I could do every day for October, but obviously when recording this, it is either the 9th or the 10th, so, you know, we're really starting to get into October now, and I haven't done a single one. So we'll probably just do a few of the things that I was thinking of instead of like one for every single day. I've been a busy goyle lately, so I apologize that I haven't been producing as much art on like my Instagram and stuff lately, because I used to be posting like once a day, but again, your girl is busy now and I haven't been able to do that. Hee whoopsies. Basically, for this video, this is what I was kind of thinking of doing. Many years ago for Inktober, I want to say it was pre-COVID, I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the dates of the art pieces when I put them into here, but many years ago, I did a little series where I drew women who were dressed in kind of like traditional garb, and they were being led by their ghost dog familiars to like the afterlife, essentially. And I really did like that concept, and I wanted to kind of revisit it in a way, but not exactly the same. And I wanted to make it a little more kitschy and a little more sassy and a little more fun. And so I was thinking of maybe doing like pinup ghost girlies with their doggy familiar, and they're all kind of in like nightgowns and stuff like that. I don't know what the lore is. Maybe they all died in a fire or something. I don't know. At night. I don't know. They died somehow. And their little ghost outfits are their nightgowns and stuff. So I just felt like doing something kind of cheeky and cute because I need to distract myself from the craziness of the world right now. So just something fun, cute, a little bit for the Halloween season, whatever. But yeah, I was thinking of doing just like a bunch of glamorous dogs too, like glamorous dog breeds with their glamorous owners. So for this one, I'm thinking we're gonna be doing like a 1960s girly with a Maltese. I was gonna do a Shih Tzu, but I've done Shih Tzus a lot, and Zuzu's kind of like in that vibe. So we're gonna do a Maltese for this one. And then I have a bunch of other ones as well that I have planned. And I don't know if this is something that you guys want to keep seeing, like if you want to see each one of these, or if you just want to see like one or two. But I figured this would be like a fun little test video to see if this is something that you guys would be interested in. So we'll just jump into the speed draw here, and I'll share also some of my inspirations for this piece, and yeah. So we started with, I don't know why I always say we, it's just me drawing here. I started drawing a bunch of different poses because I didn't really know exactly what pose I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted it to be sassy and I wanted it to be like ghosty, if that makes sense. So kind of floating and yeah, you know, something along those lines. I experimented with a lot of poses and none of them were hitting, until I came across one pose, and I will share it here. But this pose was it for me. I was like, okay, here we go. This is the pose that I wanted. So once I started sketching out that pose, these go like how a lot of my other speed draws go, where we're just sketching, trying to get the figure down, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted her little baby doll nightgown to flow and how her hair to flow and where I was going to place the dog, and I wanted to make sure that your eye was kind of drawn around the whole picture. So you'll see a point in this sketch where I draw like a circle because I'm trying to figure out how I'm like leading the eye around. But yeah, I want to share some of my inspo. These were kind of the images I was referencing. But also, I do want to note that I came across this piece by Lam Chen, who I really like, and we kind of had a similar idea here. And so I want to point out their work because after I was looking around, I did get a bunch of inspiration from Lam Chen on how they like rendered their ghost person. I just thought it was really funny that we were kind of in a similar vein here. And so a lot of my rendering on how I made her look like a ghost was inspired by Lam Chen. And then we also kind of shared similar color combos as well. But I really did like how Lam Chen did their ghosty look. Then I wanted to make sure that the Maltese had like this nice movement, and it was also kind of a ghost and it was flowing around her. And then I added some little spooky ghosts. These were also kind of inspired by Lam Chen because I liked those little spooky ghosts that were around their illustration. I just wanted her to really feel like a specter. Now for the coloring, I looked up a bunch of kind of spooky Halloween color palettes. This one was a little tricky because I wanted to kind of go traditional Halloween palettes initially, but a lot of vintage Halloween palettes are orange, purple, green, and black, and those are not like the colors I was envisioning. So I ended up looking up some other kind of spooky colors, and I decided to go more for like mulberry and blue colors. They're not really Halloween, but they are spooky ghost colors. So I think that still works. And of course, she had to be wearing pink because we all know that I'm a pink girly. Yeah, I was kind of coloring similarly, like I said, to Lam Chen because I did really like how they rendered their ghost. I also was messing around with Procreate's new brushes because they just did a big update and added a ton of new brushes. So I was using a few different watercolor brushes that they had, as well as 2 different gouache brushes to get that kind of scratchy paint look. And then I also ended up going in with my screen tone brushes as well to add a little more texture, especially in the baby doll nightgown. But in order to get this kind of like ghosty effect, what I was trying to do was keep my highlights on the edges, and areas that were more in the middle of the shape were going to be more translucent. So I made sure that I was pulling in the color from the background and filling that in. So like the wider the space and the more middle area of that space, that's like where it's going to be more translucent and it's going to be darker and closer to the background color. And then also I changed my line art to white, but I did keep the eyes and eyebrows black. I reference Lam Chen's illustration because I liked how they did theirs, and they put like a soft glow underneath the eyes and the eyebrow line art, which I also applied to mine. And then in order to really sell the effect even more, I wanted to put some like wispy, ghosty, wispy stuff, I don't know, wispy things behind them that you could kind of see through and just make it all kind of spooky. And then the last thing was just adding a bunch of sparkles because of course we gotta sparkle it up and make it cute. I also want to note that you probably saw like a lot of flickering and stuff, and that's because I was just messing around a lot with layer modes to see what looked the best and what gave the most like spooky ghost vibes without losing detail or losing like the coloring or losing the line art or anything like that. So a lot of that was just kind of running through the different layer mode styles and seeing what I personally like the best. And that's about it for this, so let's go see the glamour shots. So what do you think of this final piece? Do you like it? Do you like the spooky, pinup, creepy, cute, ghosty, retro girly and her doggy familiar? Do you want to see more of these? I don't know if this is something that you guys want to see like multiple of, or if just like one is good enough and like you kind of get the vibe. I'll be posting them also on my Instagram, but if you want to see like the behind the scenes process, let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know if there's like a specific breed that you think would work for this spooky, glamorous vibe that I'm going for. I'm thinking of maybe like a Borzoi, obviously a Pomeranian. I'm gonna save that one for my birthday because my birthday is on the 12th. So I'm going to be doing a little Pomeranian for that one. But yeah, I was also gonna do maybe a Cocker Spaniel and an Afghan Hound because they're just so glamorous. Maybe also like a Pharaoh Hound and a Bichon Frise. But also if there's any other breeds you want me to do, let me know. And maybe I will get inspired and include it. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna make. I'm just going and seeing what I can do with the time that I have. So hopefully I can make a bunch, but we'll see. All right, that's about it for this video. I will talk to you guys later. That's all, folks. Bye-bye.